All right, welcome back to Introduction to Engineering Design. This is Module 4.1G, working on some more advanced modeling in SolidWorks. So this is question number 3 on the assignment 4.1G, point A, Model Creation, SolidWorks Modified, -1. Okay, in this question, what we're asking you to do is basically to start and make this model, and let me maximize this. We're going to model this object using only additive procedures. So additive procedures first. Let's go ahead and do that. Just get a good general layout of the model. What we're going to need to do is we're going to need to extrude the bottom and then extrude this top face. So a couple different ways we could do that. So let's just start out and do a top view looking down, and we're going to extrude this shape 3.5 inches in kind of a half H shape. So again, I'm going to go File, New, Part. Okay, we're going to extrude on the top plane. Top plane. So you guys should be familiar with this, so I'm going fairly fast. I'm going to start at the origin and just start doing the outline that you'll see from the top. Start out, I'm going to make 2 legs and the body. I'm going to accept that, and now let me go ahead and dimension this real quick. So I'm going to dimension. I'm not going to add any real relations for you. We don't really need to. It's a very simple design. So that's 3.5 inches tall, and I'm in inch-pound seconds. And you'll notice that all dimensions are in inches. I didn't mention that before. Okay. So 3.5 inches tall, and then we're going to dimension the width of this leg is 1 inch. The overall width of the model, this is 1/2 inch. And if you add these up across the top, what you're going to see is this is 2.5 inches across, which makes this, I'll just come across here and call that 2.5 inches. That defines everything except the height of the saddle, and it is 1.5 inches to the height of that saddle. At that point, I'm fully defined. I can exit my sketch. And I'm going to extrude, let's go down into the page just for grins. And the thickness of this is going to be 1 inch. So now what I've done is I've sketched out this bottom piece. Next, what I want to do is I want to sketch out and extrude. Let me extrude in this way, and I'm going to make this shape. This top kind of looks like a U, the top. So let me go ahead and roll my model around. And I want to do an extrusion, and I'm going to start on this face. I'm going to make a sketch in this plane. So I'm going to start at the base, and I will start my sketch up, over, down, across, back up, I'll touch that spot so I can get my line. Somehow I lost a point here. Fix that. And I didn't really mean to exit my sketch. Go back here and edit my sketch here. I'm back in editing my sketch, and what you're going to see is I need to add some dimensions to this. So I'm defined on the width. I need to define my height here. And let me add I'm going to go ahead and add a relation here between these 2 lines and make them collinear. That'll simplify my dimensioning a little bit. So it looks like the distance from the top to the very bottom here is 2.5 inches. And it looks like the cut depth here is 1/2 inch. The last thing I have to do is define the width of my cut, and that looks like it's 1.5 inches. Now you'll notice I actually do need to define the width of my leg of 0.5 on this side, and I don't need to on the other side because I've already said this is a given width, the same as the body underlying it. I'm now should be fully defined. Oh, I got a little stub in here. Dang it. There we go. Had a little stub I drug in there somehow. Exit my sketch. Just goes to show you that I make a mistake too. And now we're going to extrude this shape. Now you'll notice I want to go into my model, and I want to go into my model an inch. So I'm going to reverse my directions, 1 inch, and accept that. And I merge the entities. So now rolling this back around, you'll see that I have the shape created. What I want to do is go File, Save As, and this is question 3. And I'm going to call it 3A. Now the next part of this, it's going to say use subtractive modeling. So I want to make a subtractive model here. So again, I'm going to create a new part. Okay. So this time I'm going to make the overall block size. The overall block size is going to be a 3.5 by 2.5 by 2.5 cube. So let's go ahead and start with an extrusion. Let's just start in the front plane. Actually, you know what? Let's start in the top plane. And we'll do that same rectangle. Dimension this, and this is 2.5. And this is going to be 3.5. Exit my sketch, and I'm going to extrude that 2.5 inches and accept it. So what I now have is the cube, and I need to make some cuts. And I'm going to make my first cut. Let's go ahead and make my first cut on this right-hand side of it. Over here I want to do an extruded cut, select my right-hand face, and now I need to lay out a rectangle. That rectangle is going to be these dimensions right here. So the rectangle appears to be 2.5 minus an inch. So 1.5 inches down from the top. So let's go ahead and dimension it exactly the way it shows in the sketch. So I'm going to define it as 1 inch up from the bottom edge, which is this dimension right here. And I'm going to define it as 1 inch in from the back edge, which is the dimension right back here. Now I've made it coincident with the top, so it's fully defined at this point. And I'm going to go ahead and exit my sketch, and it'll say a blind cut. I'm going to make it go through all. So I've just cut away that large piece. Now I need to make 2 more cuts. I need to make a cut of a rectangle there and a cut of a rectangle here. So let's start with a cut on the top surface here of the rectangle. Again, I'm just going to line up, get the orange dashed line, and drop a rectangle in. I'll dimension this exactly the way that it is, 1.5 inches to the top of my rectangle, 1/2 inch width on my rectangle, and it looks like it is 1 inch. That edge. I am now fully defined. Exit my sketch, and again I am going to do a through all cut. Now I've just cut that notch out. Let me cut my second notch out, which appears on the vertical portion of the L. So another extruded cut. Choose my surface to cut on. My rectangle tool. Make it coincident with the top edge. Drop my rectangle and then dimension it. 1/2 inch deep. An 1.5 inches wide. And 1/2 inch from this edge. Fully defined. Exit my sketch. Again, it's asking for blind, and I want to make it through all. And now I've made that same part, except I've done it all with subtractive modeling. So this was the subtractive model portion. I'm going to go File, Save As. This time I'm going to call this question 3B. That's question 3 in module 4.1G.